Hello and welcome back. Hopefully you have all of your windows and doors drawn and placed. We're going to need those for our dimensioning. In our basement we don't have any doors, so we'll start off with that one. But in this assignment we're going to be adding our annotations and some additional tasks. So the annotations are going to be what describe our object. If I printed this out, all I have is just a bunch of lines. I don't know how long anything is. So similar to in our mechanical class when we had to draw the drawings and then put on all of our details and annotations, that's what we're going to be doing today. So words, dimensions, multi-liters, same things that we've done in the past mechanically, just now architecturally. The additional tasks are going to be some stairs so we can get up and down from each floor, a porch, and some fireplaces. So to start, AutoCAD Web is a little bit different than AutoCAD. If you remember on the Annotate tab, we would have settings for all of these things: our dimension style, our text style, and our multi-liter. Well, over here we just get a choice of dimension style, text style, and multi-liter style. So they're not as detailed or as user specific as regular old AutoCAD would be, but we're going to do with what we can. First thing we need to do, if you're reading the document, is open up your basement floor plan and create a brand new layer. This layer here is going to be called Annotext. Don't forget to capitalize it, and also don't forget the A in the beginning. That A stands for any architectural layer. We're going to be drawing a civil layer later, which would start with a C. So we need that. And if you were doing electrical plans, you would have an E, or plumbing plans, you could do a P or an M for mechanical. Our Annotext is going to be color number 4. That's cyan. So go ahead and set that one there. And then select the layer. Make sure that that's the current layer. What we want to do is go back to the Properties tab though, and we're going to change our text style. Honestly, all of these simplex ones, they're going to be using like the TXT style font. We're going to want to create a 9-inch text style. They don't have that though, so you can choose any of these. I'm going to choose 6, and then when I actually create my text by using that multi-line text tool for my basement, I'm just going to change this 6 that pops up in our window to a 9. That way it's 9 inches tall. What we're going to do is we're going to title our basement as an unfinished basement, meaning that it doesn't have any gypsum board on our ceiling. We don't have any ceilings. Our walls are just that concrete block, so nothing is finished. It's just this open space. Right? Once you type in unfinished basement, go ahead and click on the check mark, and then unfinished basement pops in. We're going to go ahead and just kind of move that to where it looks appropriate, similar to what it looks like in figure 4.2 on our document. All right, you would then save that and put in all the text on your first floor and second floor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip through the document down to the dimensioning tab. And so what we want to do for that is create a brand new layer. We're going to call that layer Annotations. Again, caps lock on, Annotations. You'll notice that each of our layers have 4 boxes of text, or 4 characters in each of our places that we have. There's always a 4-character, gosh, what's that called? Statute that you want to go by. And even like when we did glaze, right? Glazing is a much longer word than just 4 letters. We're just going to shorten it up to just those 4. All right, we're going to change Annotations color to color number 30. It doesn't pop up here in our index color, so you want to hit more colors. And then color 30 is this 3rd orange one over here in the top little box bottom row, color 30. All right, so after you select 30, hit apply, and then make sure you select the Annotations layer for our dims. You're going to change back on the Properties tab, you're going to change your dimension style to Architectural 6. Architectural 6 will be large enough for us to read add a scale. When we would be in AutoCAD, we would set up a new dimension style to have text height of like 3/32 of an inch. And then we would set our annotation scale to whatever size we're going to be printing out on a sheet of paper. But for now, architectural 6 is what we have to use. The first dimension that you're going to place is going to be your overall dimension from top to top. So this top left corner, make sure you have OSnap turned on, up to this top right corner. Right? And then when you bring out your mouse, to make it look appropriate, you want to just kind of come vertically above that last point that you clicked. You should get 76 feet for our dimension. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these grid boxes to adjust how far out my text goes. You'll notice that if I'm on one of my grid lines, I'll go on a major one, that my text height is about 1 grid box tall. I know personally that we're going to be adding 2 more layers of text below it. So I want to come up at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grid lines from my wall, so on that major grid line, before I place in my 76. Scrolling down in the dimension box or in the PDF that I've given you, you're going to find that you're going to be placing in quite a few layers of dimensions. This is called 3-tier dimensions. What you do is you always dimension your major breaks. So any doors, windows, walls, any openings that you have. And then you dimension your wall lengths, so your wall breaks. And then you dimension your overall distance. So truly, we should have zoomed in here beforehand. All right, so I'm going to dimension my opening. On cinder block, you want to do every wall face. I'm going to come up to my second little line right here. And before I dimension again, I'm going to use a tip called continue. If I were to just place in another dimension, I could go from that endpoint to this endpoint and then bring it up and hopefully click on that intersection. But if I hit continue, I can then select my last dimension I created, and what it does is it continues a nice string at the same height. When I get done with my very last one, I'll just hit the enter key to stop that string of dimensions. And what it does is it keeps them all at the exact same height. Zooming out and over down here, we don't have any wall breaks, but we do have some wall openings. And so I'm going to dimension from, I'm actually going to dimension from this opening here. That way my dimension line doesn't cut over my actual window. I'm going to come to the right endpoint of this wall, and I want to bring it straight up. So approximately, we'll come up maybe to that grid line. And again, we'll continue, that was the same height, and we'll come out to this outside edge and enter to stop. All right, so I have 2 different types of dimensions here. I have one that goes to all of my openings, and I have one that just does walls. Now, I don't have another wall up here, but I don't want to add all 5 of these dimensions to find out how long that wall is. So I'm going to place in one more dimension of how long that entire wall is, and I'll come up to where I am just above, say right in the middle of that 13.4 and this 76. So my lines look nice and pretty. If I zoom in, it looks like I am on a line, in the middle of a line, and on a line. So try to make that as close as you can. I'm going to continue that very last dimension, and we're going to bring it over so I don't have to do the arithmetic to find that 28 plus 16 is 44. All right, go ahead and we don't have any other windows on our north wall, but on this wall that's facing toward the west we do. So we're going to go ahead and dimension those openings. We'll place them out same distance away, so 1, 2 clicks out, or 2 grid points out. Again, we'll try to continue that one, and we'll bring it down to our very last opening, which is right there. Now my 1'4" is kind of a little bit through the wall, None of my characters are through the wall, so that's fine. We'll just leave it like that. And use these tools and tips to dimension your basement, first floor, and second floor as well. All right, take a look at the finished basement plan. We've got dimensions and a little bit of text. Here is the finished first floor plan. A lot of room labels and then dimensions. And then the second floor plan, again, room labels and dimensions.